What's going on tonight, YouTubers? How y'all doing? This is the Club with the Man 1993, and I'm here live for a busy night. Busy night it's gonna be. First, right now, we got my AEW Dynamite live review. And then I'm gonna go downstairs and watch the season premiere of Young Sheldon. Yes, I watch comedies, of course. And then later tonight, should be not too long after that, I will do my live preview and predictions for AEW Full Gear 2020 this coming Saturday, November 7th, 2020, from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. It's going to be a fun show. Going to have some friends over. Going to cook some food. Get my gears grinding with cooking. And, we're going to go from there. So, yeah, I'm kind of a little bit on limited time for this review since I want to not keep my parents waiting for the show downstairs. So, I will get this one well done, but, maybe, a little bit rushed. So, we'll talk about the go-home show for Dynamite. And overall, another great show by Dynamite. I felt that it was not quite as good as it was recently. Still a great show. I still enjoyed it. I did get a little tired and fell asleep during the main event, though. I will be honest about that. So, that, unfortunately, I cannot... Unfortunately, I can't really talk too much about. I did see the promo afterwards, which I thought was pretty good. And also, Cody Rhodes can officially be called Cody Rhodes in AEW, as WWE surrendered the rights to the last name Rhodes. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, as I keep saying. So we got JR and Tyler. What's up, guys? JR's happy Pac return. He's one of his favorites. Nice. And what's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me. So, let's roll into the show and talk about it. So, before the show started, Chris Jericho was introduced to be on commentary for this show. He wants to give some credit to Jake Hager for winning his MMA fight. Points out his battle scars when MJF and his bodyguard Wardrow roll up. MJF says he doesn't want the tension between them to poison their friendship. Tonight, Jericho is going to get a front row seat to prove that he does belong in the inner circle. Jericho says something is missing from his total package. Talks about how his associates have the killer instinct and are crazy in the head, willing to do anything to win. He thinks Max, a little soft. But MJF was just like, just you watch. Again, playing this idea that, he has to show him something more. And you bet I'm still counting on it. MJF is going to, I don't know what it's going to be. I can't even predict it. So somehow pull something off the show. He'll do anything it takes to be in the inner circle. And I can trust that MJF and Chris Jericho are going to tell that story beautifully this coming Saturday at Full Gear. So we kicked off the show actually with a tag match. Inner Circle's Ortiz and Sammy Guevara, the sexy Spanish god Sammy Guevara, taking on MJF and Wardlow. Pretty fun opening match. Sammy Guevara was definitely getting the bigger reactions in this match. With, again, the Elite Deletion match, which should make up for that terrible, incident that happened back at All Out. I think this is somehow going to lead to Sammy Guevara getting kicked out of the Inner Circle. That's what I'm starting to feel. Him turning babyface and MJF kind of like, maybe taking his spot, maybe. I'm not sure. So I think I'm seeing the gears gearing towards that. And again, Full Gear, not trying to make the gear jokes, not too much of them. But yeah, excellent opening match. That was a lot of fun. MJF and Wardlow get the win with the Salt of the Earth submission. MJF hit on Ortiz. After the match, though, as MJF is walking up the ramp, he attacks Chris Jericho. The Inner Circle come out and make the save. And Jericho just starts grinning and likes what he sees, obviously. So obviously he's impressed, but he wants a little bit more. So we'll see how that match goes on Saturday. We get an interview with Kenny Omega, who's congratulated on him going to be in the final for Roman Contenders tournament on Saturday. How he thinks it's going to be a great fight, and going up against his former tag partner, Hangman Adam Page, a man he respects quite a bit. Of course, we'll get to them later on because they do have a little bit of an interaction which was intriguing, but again, felt they could have done something more with it. Anyways, so we then get Miro versus Trent, the best man. The best man versus Trent. And a good match. It was Miro's first singles match in AEW. His first few have been tag matches with him and Kip Sabian. This is probably... I didn't get to look at the card. There is a chance I think this may lead to a tag match between Miro and Kip Sabian taking on Best Friends. And again, it'd be a good win. Again, I keep saying I feel like Best Friends is just a little bit overrated, but, you know, they have accolades to they're a serious tag team, so putting over Miro and Kip Sabian works for me. Again, don't know what the story's going to eventually be. I don't know if, you know... Again, as I keep saying, Miro's easily going to be a babyface once he's a single star. You know, again, obviously with the reaction he got when he made his debut just a couple right after All Out, again, obviously they're going to actually book him right and not try to, you know, ambush his gimmick like WWE did. Vince McMahon thing, they were just making fun of him, and the only reason why his shirts sold out because they ran out of stock. Like, just trying to, again, just put down the fact that guy was actually, you know, awesome and getting over with. Well, they're not going to do that here in AEW, and they're going to actually let him get over. So I still think, again, Kip Sabian, despite not being, you know, the most popular heel, I'd still say, is the right person to help, you know, make Miro a babyface. Who knows? Miro could win himself Penelope Ford off of Kip Sabian. Who the heck knows that? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Miro doesn't even be involved in a love storyline, especially after what happened with him, his real life wife, Lana, CJ Perry, who's going through tables every week on Raw, and Bobby Lashley. Dear Lord, is it scary to admit that a year ago that was going on? Remember that, guys? Yeah. Thank goodness 1 year later, Miro is the best. He's the best. He's the best man. Yeah! Anyways. So we had that match, which of course Miro was constantly running his mouth about Trent's mother throughout the match, which was a little bit strange, but you know, it worked. There was, I don't know if this is a botch or this is on purpose, because it kind of flowed well at the finish, but towards the end of the match, Trent goes for a springboard, but then he slips and he falls. Then Miro capitalizes with the super kick, and then stomps to the back, and his accolades now called the game over. So he wins there. Afterwards, though, he knocks over and puts a second one in, but Chuck Taylor makes a save. Kip Sabian comes in, they start to brawl. Then Miro gets on the mic and tells Trent again he has no manners and blames his mother before Orange Cassidy dives on him. So I guess a singles match with Orange Cassidy and Miro, that'd be a bad idea. Cool with me. Jim Ross was having an interview with Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega's opponent. Page, of course, was drinking some whiskey. He feels good about his chance on Saturday, but he knows all of Omega's moves, how to reverse them. But he also admits he's nervous. So, okay, we'll get to that later on. As I said, we got a video package hyping up a big dream match of mine, of course, from this Saturday for the AEW World Tag Titles. FTRs, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood taking on the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Cannot wait for that match. Still think it could be a main event of the show, but of course it's not going to be. It's going to be the I Quit match with, almost said Dean Ambrose. So he's been out of WWE for a year and a half now. Why am I still calling him Dean Ambrose? No, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston is going to be the main event in that I Quit match. But anyways, Team Taz comes out. Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. Taz informs us that Will Hobbs is not going to wait much longer for an answer. But he's here to tell us what he did today. Not one, not two, but for 3 hours, he sat outside Tony Khan's office trying to get 2 minutes of his time. Then, finally, he was told that he was busy and for people who are fighting at Full Gear. So he's saying, well, look at this. Brian Cage, 10-1, ranking number 1 in the AEW rankings. Who's better than Cage? And Ricky Starks? He's won 10 of his last 11 matches. He's not even in the top 5. So basically, he just trashes on the ranking system. So I don't know if that's kind of gone out the window a little bit. Maybe, who knows. So Ricky says he's hit out of the park every time. He's had a hard time figuring out why he can't even be ranked, but hear him out. 1 + 1 is 2. And that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is Team Taz not having a match on Saturday. Taz puts over Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin as they're going to have a great match on Saturday for the TNT Championship. But of course, both of them are still spoiled and given everything they want. Taz then calls out Cody, saying he lives by the motto, do the work. But Team Taz is getting worked, and they're going to be at full gear. Does that mean they're going to probably interfere in a match with Cody and Darby? Kind of hope not, but they're doing something. Don't know what's going to be, so we'll see. Kind of brought up a good point, though. It feels like they kind of veered away a little bit from the ranking systems. Just a little bit. A little inconsistent, but, it's not too bad. Anyways, so we have that. During their entrance for the next match, Private Party came out with Matt Hardy. But as he was coming out, Sam Guevara attacked Matt Hardy, but Private Party made the save. Just again to remind us, hey, they're having a match on Saturday. We'll talk about that match in my preview predictions. And then they had a match with the Young Bucks. Another fun match again. Private Party again. I don't know why. I'm liking them more than the Best Friends. I feel like, Best Friends have gotten a little more of an overpush. Maybe partially because Orange Cassidy's been on a roll. Since this feud with Jericho started up. But I definitely feel like I'm a little more intrigued by Private Party. I don't know why. But I thought they had another fun match here with the Young Bucks. And then the Young Bucks get the win, of course, with the BTE trigger on Mark Quinn. Afterwards, though, FTR comes out and attacks the Young Bucks. And they start going after Matt Jackson's leg. Wrap them a chair around it. They're trying to, break his ankle off again. With Tully Blanchard holding him in place. And then Dax Harwood, holding down Nick Jackson. And Wheeler goes up on the second rope to jump on the chair. But before you do that, out comes Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. First it was Page, and then Kenny Omega came down. Interesting, of course, Hangman had had his whiskey in his hand. But interesting enough, because remember, back before All Out, Hangman Adam Page was the one who cost the Young Bucks their tag title opportunity. Remember that? Of course, now, they helped them out, and then Kenny comes out, and him and Page kind of, fist bump like they're fine, but then they just stare each other down for a little bit. I don't know, I was kind of cool, but I'm it's intriguing the fact that they actually had, Page come out to help the Young Bucks after they kind of, fell off on the same page. No pun intended for Hangman Adam Page. My question is, though, again, this is just one problem I have with AEW. Why are they veering away from storylines and coming back to them it was hot, we backed off, it didn't happen. Okay, it's hot again. I'm just why did they have, some type of, continued storyline? Even during this number one contenders tournament, it was obvious it was going to be Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, but, it's they could have, teased something between them. It's the first couple weeks after All Out, they were on commentary watching each other's match, but then it was just they teased something, keep them lurking around near each other or whatnot. But they kind of just acted these two never had a history for a while. Or again, I guess I was continuing to say, even with the idea that again MJF, who had a good gripe to get a rematch for his AEW World Championship shot, didn't do it. And Chris Jericho, still to this day, even you mentioned on commentary that, Moxley won the world title off of him, but he's going to get it back someday. It's when? Why haven't you tried getting your rematch? You're the Le Champion. You basically haven't even, made a case for it since you lost it. I don't know. It's just strange. And even, of course, another one I keep going back to, MJF and Cody Rhodes. That could be a long-term feud. They kind of just ended that, and I it had no reason to continue. It's Cody lost, okay, whatever, but it's you could have done so much more, then why are you veering away from it? I don't know. It's not the worst. Little nitpick, though. So that happened. And then, we have this really good promo to hype up the main event this coming Saturday, and that I Quit match. It was, Tony Schiavone is coming out to start up a face-to-face interaction with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, who are going to face against each other in the I Quit match on Saturday for the AEW World Championship. And of course, the rule was here, if those two got physical with each other, the match was off. So, Eddie comes out and just berates Tony Schiavone to do his job and hold the microphone. Moxley comes out afterwards, and Eddie demands his music to be cut and for Tony to get out of the ring. Kingston and Moxley get face to face. They were like nose to nose, mouth to mouth. I'm like, they're not gonna kiss, are they? They were literally just like in each other's faces. Like, you could tell the tension that these two just want to rip each other apart. And we may as well see that happening in that main event on Saturday. Oh, like I said, that main event, from the hype, it's probably going to be very similar to what we got last year with Moxley and Omega, which I'm kind of intrigued about. And of course, remember last year, they actually got fined by the state of Maryland for going a little too far. Well, it's like, again, that's what you gotta do to make this company feel unique. You don't want to be like babies like WWE and pleasing the kids. No, this is TV 14. You gotta have some matches where it gets violent and vigorous like that, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. These two are literally gonna tear each other apart on Saturday in that I Quit match. And then, anyways, so Moxley comes out and so they're face to face. Kingston tells Moxley he's going to ruin him on Saturday and take the title to his mother and tell her the reason Eddie's never given her a grandchild or a granddaughter is because pro wrestling and his chase for that title. He had to sell out and become everything he hated, and it's too late for him, but he's taking the title. Moxley then says he'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies because loyalty is a bitch, and he's been burned time and again, but he's never thought he'd be burned by him. He was so happy when Eddie signed the contract. He was happy for his mother, whose table he sat at, who he said grace him with, who he promised he'd look after Eddie with his life, but he guesses he broke that promise because the loudest one in the room is the weakest. And Kingston's been really loud lately, and why? That's not him. He's not weak, so what's going on? After 18 years, he finally gets his shot. The shot he thought he'd never get. But deep down in his heart, he knows he's going to be in the ring with the best wrestler on the planet, and he's going to lose. It's a scary thought. He gets it. To find out that after 18 years, you didn't really deserve it after all. Part of that makes Moxley sick, and Eddie promises him to his mother that he can't keep Kingston telling Moxley he better be ready to kill him, because this is real. He begs Moxley to take him out, and when he doesn't, the title is his and he walks off. Moxley's on Saturday night. Eddie will be alone with his ego, and he'll find out he's not the man he thought he was. And he'll say the words, "I quit." Vicious promo. Again, obviously, showing the emotion and the tension, the history. These two, I believe, had done some work together in CZW. They started in this business together, for what it sounds like, and now it's come full circle. Again, Moxley's had a successful career, in AEW his first year and a half. His moments in New Japan he has done, and of course, his time, even though, of course, at the end, it was starting to run its course, of course, to him, and, it wasn't really working out how he wanted it to. But in WWE, he still was successful, and obviously, Eddie Kingston, is trying to, make that statement off his longtime friend. And again, these two are literally going to beat the hell out of each other just to make one or another say, "I quit." Eddie's not winning on Saturday. Again, Moxley is not dropping that title to Eddie Kingston. There's no way he is. But he's going to make Eddie look like $1 million. And I can't wait to see that. So I'm actually very intrigued by this main event we're getting on Saturday. So then we have the breaking of silence of Pac. The bastard Pac. Shut up! Shut up, Rich! I'm sorry. Shut up, Rich! You people cheered me. But if you're watching 205 Live, I am going to obliterate the division! Yes, to be talking my British accent. Anyways, but yeah, this is the first time we've seen Pac since like March. The last time I remember seeing Pac was his match with Orange Cassidy at Revolution back in that last weekend in February. He's had some issues with travel ever since the pandemic started, of course. That's why he has been seen, but he finally breaks his silence. He's sitting in a room. He mentioned how the funny about isolation is you've got nobody to play with. 7 months. 7 months doomed on the far side of the Atlantic. But yet again, attached to this rotten world, he's been there before. So, he's coming back. So, see what he does. Looking forward to seeing what he does when he gets back. Because he's awesome when booked right. The National Nightmares are interviewed about their match against the Butcher and the Blade next week when Allie, who's back to being the bunny, who apparently left QT Marshall because they maxed out each other's credit cards. And she basically throws the credit cards at him, but Butcher and the Blade attack, beating him down, so okay, whatever. Nyla Rose squashes Red Velvet. Afterwards, Vicky Guerrero gets on the mic and then mocks Brandy Rhodes for Red Velvet's loss. And then they start saying some stuff up to, Hikaru Shida. Yeah, not really excited about that match. I don't get why we're doing it again, but whatever. And then the main event happened. Again, I fell asleep during it, unfortunately, but Darby Allin was watching from the rafters, as he's been lately. And Cody Rhodes and the Gun Club, Austin and Billy Gunn, defeated Dark Order's Colt Cabana, John Silver, and 10. Orange Cassidy, I think, got involved afterwards and laid out John Silver because they're having a match on Saturday. Cool with me. But afterwards, though, after the brawl cools off, Cody Rhodes looks up and says how Darby Allin, that TNT don't want him as the face of the network, but that's a fiction because they'd love to have somebody of his talent as champion. And in different circumstances, though, Cody might love it too. He recruited Darby all by his lonesome, had to convince the other EVPs of his value. Take one last look at the title, because Cody went to war with the Empire and won, and that pisses a lot of people off. His truth contradicts lies. Stop lying. You want the TNT title to be the face of AEW, to have to be the ace? He's a problem. You're not the ace, Darby. And then they stare each other down. But of course, it's also announced then that Cody Rhodes is officially back as he owns his own last name in AEW again because WWE forfeited the rights for it. Thank goodness. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite. Let me see here. We've got for the polls. What grade would you give AEW Dynamite? 87.5% said A. 12.5% said B. Nobody said anything lower than that. I gave the show a B+. Great show. Not as good as the past few weeks, but a strong go-home show. But I enjoyed it. So anyways, in live chat, JR says he's never going to be able to watch pay-per-views just like AEW because I can't get wherever you go to for AEW. Well, Bleacher Report Live, my friends and I just get one account. We just split the money to buy them all. Again, at least it's like, if they're like every single month, we definitely wouldn't buy every single one. But, there's only one every so many months, so split between a couple of us, not too much. We can afford it. But yeah, it definitely sucks. What if Joe won the red piece of shit in 2017? Oh, would have been good. Again, the promos he had on Brock, they were gold. They were awesome. I loved it. Let me see here. The best I Quit match is Cena and JBL at Judgment Day 2005, and the worst is Cena and Miz at Over the Limit. We could use a good I Quit match, yeah. What about, wasn't it Ric Flair and Mick Foley I Quit? That one might have been pretty good too. I'm not sure what I Quit matches. I gotta go back and think about those, but we've had some good ones over the years. We got Robbie saying, my brother here, 2015 Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, I'm not sorry. But look at you, you're just so full of yourselves now. Actually, you're full of something else. You are a sniveling little fool of suffering, sellout, suffering, succotash, son. Yeah, I know, that was not easy to say. My brother over here, my so-called brother over here, he's got donkey dongs for brains, son. Okay, but really, what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah, compared to that Roman Reigns, what we got now. Let me see here. Yes, gotta quote that. Dobby, the free elf. How dare you sleep during the main event? Oh, hi Ashley. Anyways, Mike, you ready for some more tonsil hockey tomorrow night? Nope, I'm not ready to see a 19-year-old make out with a 32-year-old again. Let me see here. Yeah, I had to do that wink. Of course, the wink adds in Devin, Paulie, Ray, Anya, Jax keep the tables. That's what that means. It was Little Miz. Miz and Riley beating down Cena. Then the fake ending of I Quit. Yes, yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that. Yeah, that was just dumb. Great verbal showdown between Moxley and Kingston last night. Another worst I Quit match, because this should have never happened. There was no reason for it to happen. Rusev and John Cena in 2015. No need for that match to happen. But, yeah. I'll have to talk about that more times. But, sorry guys, it's 8 o'clock. Gotta go downstairs and watch Young Sheldon. But I'll be back up here in a little bit, though, to give my full preview and predictions for AEW Full Gear this coming Saturday. So, yeah, guys, I'm checking out. What were your thoughts on AEW Dynamite this weekend? Give it a B+. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And there's always a slap a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBrownie3. And I'll see you guys in a little bit for my Full Gear preview and predictions. Probably no NXT review till tomorrow night before SmackDown. And some tonsil hockey between a 19-year-old and a 32-year-old. But we'll talk about that then. So guys, I'm checking out. Have a good night. See you again soon. Peace out, everybody.